Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Kare's High Frequency Wellness. I have such an amazing show for you today. I can hardly wait to introduce you to Terry Moore. Terry Moore is a new best friend of mine who is one of the top 20 TED presenters in the world. He is an inventor, and he's invented a product that I think everybody needs, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And so I want to tell you about it and show it to you, but before that, I'd like to introduce Terry, have him tell you a little bit of his background and where he started with this, how he created this and why. Terry?
Thank you, Kare. Yes, I'm happy to tell you about the invention, but a little bit about myself first, I suppose. Um, I had a fairly long career as a management consultant, uh, running my own company, which we would do unusual problems for corporations, mostly large corporations. And I can tell you many good stories about that sometime that will interest and delight you.
I can
But that
hardly
was
wait
some
to hear those.
truly. Uh, but in the just after the turn of the century, I reconnected with my um, college girlfriend, who was the great love of my life. And we were married, and I stopped consulting and moved to New York City, and had a wonderful life here uh, with my wife, Lynn. And then in about 2015, she started having some memory issues, starting with not being able to remember names and spellings. And I should add here that Lynn was one of the smartest people I have ever met. She was a true genius and left her mark on the world in several places, and we can talk about that sometime too. But as is typical with very smart people and cognitive difficulties, they have their own mechanisms for compensating with their own deficits until at some point they run out of what is called cognitive capacity, and it's a sharp decline. And that's what happened to her. It went from not being able to remember a few words to very serious cognitive difficulty in a very short period of time. Well, when that happened to her, I tried to find uh, what could possibly help, and the world of medicine offered very little, if anything.
Yeah.
Uh, so I began to look a little wider, and because I have a pretty good science background, I looked through some of the current science and discovered this research that was being done in Massachusetts, where they had taken a population of white mice that had been bred to have high levels of plaque in their brains, and they exposed them to a light that flashed at one of the natural brain frequencies, a frequency called gamma, which is 40 hertz or 40 flashes a second. And in a very short time, those mice had considerably less plaque in their brains and had begun to relearn skills. And I thought to myself, well, 40 hertz light, it's not dangerous, it's not invasive, um, it's not harmful. So I hired an engineer to build me one. And this came in the form of a number of hockey puck sized lights, which I stuck around my wife's television. And I turned on the lights. They were flashing at 40 hertz. And I told the healthcare staff that it was a decoration just to leave it on. And then I went on a little vacation for about 10 days. And I came back, and the senior healthcare worker said to me, "Oh, Lynn's really better than when you left."
All
And then I
right.
spoke to her doctor, who said, "Well, these things are cyclical, but she's on an uptick now." So at that point, I told them and others what I had done, and almost universally, people said the same thing to me, and really in the same words. And the words were, "Can you get me one?"
Absolutely.
Because cognitive issues are so important and their cognitive problems are so ubiquitous. So I felt destiny was calling me to create a consumer level product that would deliver consistent quality 40 hertz light. Um, and since we've done that, there's been a lot more research that shows that one of the great advantages of exposure to 40 hertz light is in sleep. It's one of the things that really has been demonstrated to aid sleep and particularly aid what's called sleep fragmentation, which I
Well,
know
I
bothers
can
a lot.
I can tell you that's made a huge difference in my sleep, and I thought I was sleeping very well. So
Well,
yeah,
that's very good. That's wonderful to hear that. The most common thing we hear from our customers is, "Well, I'm sleeping better, and I'm in a better mood, and I'm sharper." And I'll consider that a victory.
that is huge. And let me tell you how I heard about your light. A friend of mine, I've been in natural healing and energy medicine for more than 50 years. And so I have all the toys. And a friend of mine brought your light over to my house and she said, "Look at this." Let me show you. I've got it right here. She said, "Look at this. Isn't that cute?" That's it. That's
That's
it.
it.
And we started playing with it. And, I knew that I had watched videos about the cognitive issues, but the first night that we had played with it, both of us slept like logs and went, "Whoa, isn't that interesting?" Um, the next day, I teach Tai Chi Gong, and I had a woman come to my class who is 80 and having some cognitive issues. And she didn't recognize my friend who had gone out to lunch with her like a month earlier, didn't remember anything, just a blank look like, "Who are you?" And I put this light on. Terry says it blinks, but you can turn it down so you don't even see the blinking. And I put it on during my class. And at the end of the class, she walked over to my friend and said, "June, I can't believe I didn't see you, didn't recognize you." I mean, in 1 hour class. And I went, "Whoa, this is pretty amazing." And then we also noticed that we were like calmer.
Huh?
It just made everything better. Who doesn't need that?
These are consistent stories I hear from people, but I'm so glad to hear yours.
It's amazing. I've been a college professor. I've been a teacher my entire life. And when I find something that works, and this works for everybody, I can't shut up about it. So that was why I wanted to do this with you so people could hear directly from you. Um, oh, so my interest is in going to the next level mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I've been following Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is probably the leading authority on brainwave frequencies and taking people into the next level. And he's been talking about gamma waves in his workshops. People do this exercise where they get the heart and brain in coherence. And once they're there for a while, the brain goes into gamma waves. And, I've been in biofeedback forever, and you hear about alpha waves and beta waves and
Sure.
theta waves and delta waves. You hear very little about gamma waves because the only real good research that had been done in gamma waves were on monks that had meditated for like decades. And
Right.
here's people getting into gamma in this brainwave coherence, brain heart coherence. And then it's opening up like the pineal gland and going into like metaphysical experiences.
There
And
is some research, I can find it, I can't quote it here, that demonstrates that before one has an aha experience, one goes into gamma.
yeah, yeah, I get it. I was reading this book, which I bought a year earlier, loaned it to a friend. It came back just a couple weeks ago, and so I started to read it. It's called Project 369.
Hmm.
And listen to this. Gamma waves. Wait a minute. Oh, here. Now, this is where things get very interesting. This is after they've talked about all the other waveforms. When we experience high energy states and intense feelings like compassion, deep love, or ecstasy, we display gamma brain waves. And they can be displayed whether we are in deep into meditation, daydreaming, alpha theta, or even when we're in pure alignment with our purpose and vision. While beta is simply alertness, gamma is peak focus and expanded consciousness. The gamma state is the super consciousness state. And I'm going, oh my God. I mean, we've got both ends of the spectrum for this. And I bet you're seeing this with you've got a lot of people that are using these now. Um, tell me some of the things that you're hearing.
Well, as I said before, the most common thing we hear from our customers is, I'm sleeping better, I'm in a better mood, and I'm sharper. Uh, and I consider that, a great victory. You talked about having it on for maybe an hour. We tell our customers that an hour a day is the right amount or is a good amount. It doesn't need to be in the center of one's vision. It can be, most people have it to the side of their TV screens or their computers. Now, as you can probably tell by a little shakiness in the light in my office here, I have it on my desk all the time.
I
I have
heard
it
you say
on,
that. I was really happy to. I've been having mine on all the time too.
yeah, I know of no indication that you could have too much gamma light.
Well, you know what happened with me? I turned it. You can turn it up really bright, or you can
Mhm.
turn it down way low. You can have it on different colors. You can have it go for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. There's a lot you can do with it on these. Let me show you again, because it's just simple little buttons on this. Yeah, see, look.
We wanted to make it as simple as possible. We wanted to make it so that you could adjust the color for the time of day or the decor, as well as the brightness. Let me tell you another story,
Okay.
because we demonstrated this at a senior citizens conference and trade show in Florida last November. And we had a booth in the trade show and we had our light set up and we turned it on. And it was fairly well attended show. Across the aisle from us, there were three young men. I'm guessing they were in their 30s. They had some sort of software product they were selling. Um, but the trade show went on, and on the third day, all three of those young men came over to our booth and said, we were just saying to each other how well we had been sleeping in the last 2 days. Is that because of your light? Of
Oh,
course, it's because of our light. But we're running into things like that all the time. It's a surprise.
well, I've been putting it on in my bathroom. And when I get up in the morning and shower and get dressed and put on makeup, I've got it blinking. It's the only light I'm using. I mean, and what a great way to start out the day.
Yeah, indeed.
And then I move it, to another room, although I should probably buy another one, or two or three. Um, I meditated with it, turned it way down low, and just sat and did my meditation. And Terry, I think that was the most profound meditation I ever had
Oh my goodness.
because my heart and
Oh
brain
my,
were in coherence, and I went into this balanced gamma waves, and it was profound. It was profound.
My,
That's why I keep saying everybody
that's
needs one of
that's
these.
that's wonderful. Yes, it's one thing that I think I can be sure of saying that is good for everyone.
I totally believe that. My son lives next door with his wife and two babies. They have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And all of a sudden they're in big boy beds and they're having a hard time sleeping through the night. And we got them one. And I said, they watch a little movie before the boys go to bed, before they do their story time. And so I said, put the light on and let's see if that makes a difference. They slept through the night, and so did the parents. You know, so it doesn't matter what age you're talking about either.
Kara, that's wonderful. Thank you.
And I've got one more. We got another one for um, Joshua's wife's name is Allie, and her dad has some major cognitive issues.
Uh-huh.
And so, and he liked it. We didn't know whether he liked it. He liked it a lot. And so they're leaving it on pretty much all day long. Very first night he had it, now he had been getting up at 3 a.m. and having weird things go on. The very first day he slept till 7 and was up, and they just were over there this past weekend. He's had it now for a few weeks, and both Josh and Allie said he's better than we've seen him in years.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, doesn't that make you feel good? Oh my God.
It makes me feel wonderful. Uh, yes, indeed. There's so little help for people who have those problems. And this is such an easy and available device that's
And
good.
affordable.
Yeah, that was another objective, which had to be affordable.
So I am so pleased. I'm so glad to actually get to talk with you and hear your stories and
Oh,
tell my stories.
I'm so glad to hear your stories. They're consistent with the things that I know about 40 hertz light that I've heard from our customers over the last couple of years.
Well, I think everybody needs one.
I
And
think everybody would benefit from exposure to 40 hertz light. Yes.
yeah. So I have a website. It's called Gamma Care. My name is Kare, Kare. So it's GAMMAKARE.com. And you can go there and see all of the different, well, there's not different versions, but you can buy different amounts of them. And
Right.
I mean, if you've got parents that are failing, or if you just want to be sharper and sleep better, I mean, my gosh, your body heals when you're sleeping. So just having good sleep is one of the most important things you can be doing.
Yes,
But
it's been um, very gratifying to have heard from people who just as you and your friends were accidentally exposed to 40 hertz light, not because they were trying to deal with a problem. Uh, and it's good for everyone. It's
I love it. And I want to, in the future, have you back when we'll have a lot more stories. And so will you.
yes, let's collect some more stories. They're all wonderful. And I'd be happy to come back anytime, Care.
I love what you've created. I think you are brilliant. And this is something that can help everybody. The world has been waiting for this. Something that is so simple, so affordable, and helps in so many areas. Every
Yes.
so God bless you.
Let, let, let's get some more stories.
All right. Well, any of you out there, when you order one, call me and tell me, and we'll have you on the next one too. So, I mean, this is just so exciting. I'm all about what is the cleanest, purest, most natural way to reverse our age and our issues, and this is one of them. So,
40
thank
hertz. Yes.
40 hertz. Boom, boom.
Kare, thank you for your interest and your enthusiasm and helping us share what I believe is something that is good for everyone.
Thank you so much, Terry. Blessings for you.
And blessings to you, Kare.
All right. Bye now.
Bye for now.